We're gonna do a little quick recap. If you notice, we got the sun make a wave in the sky every year, and that's where you get that rise in the east, sets in the west because it's a wave, and they call this wave the ecliptic. If you look at the wave, and you'll be able to see why it's rising. Look, the way it's rising in the east and setting in the west is because of this wave, and the wave look like a half of eight, you know. So then, we learned that everything starts in Aries, which is the beginning of spring. We know that. And with the ecliptic, the ecliptic is basically the sun traveling through the sky, through the ecliptic. They call it the ecliptic. It's the sun's, the way it travels through the sky every day. So, the sun passes through two tropics. You got the Tropic of Cancer and you got the Tropic of Capricorn. You know what I'm saying? The two signs. One sign is the longest day of the year, which is Cancer, and then you got Tropic of Capricorn, the longest night of the year. So it's basically, the highest point where the sun could reach in the northern journey is the Tropic of Cancer, and that's June 21st. But if you look at it the way that I look at it, like as degrees, then we know that that degree is supposed to be June 21st. And you look at the other one and you'll see the degree that's supposed to be December the 21st. If you seen the last video, you'll be able to tell. But on the thing, in degrees, Aries is 0. The tropical Cancer is 90 degrees. Fall is 180 degrees, and winter is 270 degrees. 0 to 180 is the equinox. 90 to 270 are the solstices. So we recapped on that. Now back to the Mazzaroth. We're going to go to Mazzaroth in days, right? So now we're going to explain it. We explained it in the years, and we kind of gave you a little briefing of what's to come. So now we're going to explain it in the day format, because if you look at the sky, it's cut up into 4 pieces, mainly 4 pieces, because them 4 different pieces have 4 different way of beings. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look at it in the yearly cycle, you know that Aries is the beginning, and from Aries to Gemini, that is spring. From Cancer to Leo, that's summer. From Libra to Sagittarius, that's fall. And from Capricorn to Pisces is winter. But the daily cycle falls on top of that also. We go back to Aries being the beginning. It's when the sun rises above the equator, and it rises, and that's when you start seeing the sun once it go above the horizon, the equator. So if you take that and put it into 4 parts, you got the morning in spring. It's the same thing. So from Aries to Gemini again, that's the morning. That's 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. 12 p.m. And then you go with Cancer to Scorpio, to Libra, and those are the afternoon, which is the summer. And when the sun go beneath the equator again, it's nighttime, which is the evening time from 6 to 10. 6 to 12. What's it, 6 to 10? 6. Why am I confused right now? 6 to 12 to midnight, which is fall. And then you got the new day starts at after midnight, because it's just like the sun when it's in the winter solstice is on its way back up north. So from we got Capricorn and through Pisces, which is the winter time, and it's the same as the night in the days, because that's a new day coming now. Just like the sun is on its way back up during the year, is the winter solstice, and the sun on its way back up in the day during the days is midnight. So this is the day cycle of it all. And if you understand what I'm saying, I'm gonna break it down a little bit more. Sunrise above the equator around 6 a.m. From the northern hemisphere. So Aries, from 6 o'clock to 8 a.m. the sun is in Aries. From 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. the sun is in Taurus. From 10 to 12 p.m. the sun is in Gemini. From 12 p.m. to 2 the sun is in Cancer. From 2 to 4 p.m. the sun is in Leo, and so forth and so on. If you look at the chart that I made for y'all, you'll see that every part of the day is the same as every part of the year. And if you look at 2 to 4 p.m., which is the hottest of the day, the hottest time of the day is between 2 o'clock and 4 p.m. when the sun is at its highest. And when you look at it in years, when the sun is in Leo is when the sun is at its hottest too, because that's summer. So if you following what I'm trying to explain to you and trying to show you right now, you will see that this Mazzaroth was created for years, days. So far, y'all know years and days, and isn't it crazy how it just all lined up? And when you look at it, it all lines up to be exactly what the year is. So I got a couple more different ways that I'm gonna show you how this Mazzaroth is basically the only thing that was really given to us to help us understand where we at and what to do while we're here. And the way that things match up is so important, because when you think about it, when the sun rises, it's basically the sun is, for the day, the sun is coming above the equator. It's passing over the equator, which makes it rise. And that's when it's all bright. And then the other one, when it passes back over the equator, it's sunset. Ain't that crazy? And when it go beneath the equator it's dark up north. So if you understand the science of what's above is down below, it's everything that's above. Everything that's above is the light part of it. And when you mirror the bottom part of it, it's the dark half of the light half. It's the same thing, but just in a different part of the world. As far as like the sun. If you understand what I'm saying. Spring and summer is when the sun is up above the equator. Just like morning and afternoon, the sun is above the equator. But then the total opposite, when the sun is beneath the equator, is fall and winter. And fall is basically the opposite of spring. Just like the sun, summer, is the opposite of winter. So when the sun passes back over the equator, it goes under the equator, it's basically is evening now. It's starting to set. So you got sunrise and you got sunset, which is basically the same thing as saying Aries and Libra on the yearly cycle. But yeah, I wanted to throw that in for people to understand that all this was created for a reason. There's no accidents. Everything was all created to be understood. And this is the Living Library. I got a whole playlist for that too that I'm working on for y'all. So I'm gonna teach y'all. I need to teach you this first because this is the basics and the beginning of what all this really means. Because if you know the sound wave, which is the figure 8, you understand that all this was created for us, and it all really means something. And just because you don't understand what something means, don't mean that it doesn't mean anything. It reminds me of, like, if you look at like the gangs. If you walk in a certain neighborhood and see a symbol on the wall, I don't care if you know what that symbol means or not. The people that put it there know what it means. And something bad might happen to you just because you thought it didn't mean anything because you had no knowledge on it. And that's how this Mazzaroth worked. If you didn't understand it, like I said for the yearly, if you didn't understand the yearly cycle, you either starved or froze to death. Now with this one, the daily one, if you didn't understand the daily one, you couldn't get yourself right. You either, like they say, because once it get dark, you can't see where you're going no more. So you put yourself into risk if you didn't know how the days work. You know what I mean? Because once it start getting dark, that's when the animals start coming out looking for things to eat. And if you didn't know to get your butt back to the community or the cave or the trees or wherever how y'all live back then, you might end up getting ate. You know? Or you might end up missing your meal because it's too late to even find your way back home. So I just wanted to share this with y'all. Love to all, and to all, spread the light.